Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, very, very good question.
Yeah, this is a very good question.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
Oh, that's a great question.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question, Zanger.
It's a great question.
It's a great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Really good question.
Gosh, this question to me, I hate this question.
That's a loaded question. but okay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. We're going to meet an indie agency here in a second, but I'd like to start with this.
At Domino's, we know there's a lot of pressure to tip these days.
Great set, bro. Now take a look at this screen real quick.
Okay. Thanks for the spot.
Everywhere you go, there's a tip screen. There's just no escaping it.
Thanks.
Let me know if you need anything else.
No, I'm good.
And how does this make you feel?
Bad.
And do you, Michael?
Think I'm doing a good job?
Should heal up in a couple of weeks. Just one more question.
Ouch.
One last thing.
Just one more question.
We'll have a free one.
Which makes us appreciate your tips even more.
Thanks for the tip.
And why we are going to tip you back.
No, thank you.
Tip your Domino's driver $3 or more online and we'll tip you $3 to use on next week's online delivery order. Only at Domino's.
One of the many great pieces of work for Domino's from Work in Progress. And we bring in Matt Talbot. We bring in Evan Russeack. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing good. Thanks
Oh, my goodness. I just hear that sometimes. Okay, so two things. Number one, I love it when I like how you dug into just a couple more questions. So that's like my biggest nit right now is when I go to do something, it's going to ask you some questions. It's like, no. It's going to ask me if I want a tip. It's not asking me how you doing today. Mm-hmm. It's not asking, is there anything else we can help you with? It's we want money, which is fine because I waited tables and everybody should tip well.
Yep.
I mean, let me just, let me get to the meat of that. Amen.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just, it's really well done. So all those little pieces, and we will link to the conversation that we had with the good folks at Domino's and talking about how brand actions are better than stunts. But listen, we're Boulder. Colorado just is coming correct. One of our biggest markets. So first of all, thank you for your support. It means a ton to us. And let's start with a basic overview of the agency, when it started, how it got kicked off. So give us the first skinny on this one. Who wants that hot potato?
For sure. I mean, I'll jump in. I think July 2016 is when it all started. So we're a little over 8 years old now, which is hard to believe. It is now the longest I think any of us have been anywhere. But we all, the founding partners, left Crispin Porter Bogusky. We came together there over the course of 6 or 7 years, working on the Domino's account, and got to know each other professionally and personally during that time, and became stress tested and had aspirations of starting our own thing and having an entrepreneurial spirit, and kind of prepped that endeavor, and all left on the same day and started at my kitchen table the next morning.
Oh, wow.
And self-funded the agency and just made a go of it right off the bat.
Good old Gun Park.
Oh my God, Gun Park, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Evan, what's your side of the story? What's something that during that process maybe was you look back on fondly during the process of saying, yeah, we're going to do this?
I think that there's a few things. One is that we didn't know one another when we started Crispin, and serendipitously we all wound up on the same account. And through that, we all discovered we had a mutual love for delivering business results. I know it sounds weird, but it's just what motivated us. And so how to use creativity to continue to do that And so that was just one thing that we just galvanized around. And then we just started developing a process and innovating an approach and evolving it to where we felt like we had something special and unique. And then I think it just came down to what's the risk. And the risk, looking back, we were all nervous, but looking back, the risk was if we failed, we'd just go get a job somewhere else at another agency in Boulder. And so in hindsight, the risk was quite low. At the time, it was quite high. I had 2 kids. I think Alex had 1, Harold had 2. And so everybody had young families, growing families. So it was a big deal. And we were leaving very big jobs that paid extremely well. And we were treated, well. And so, but it was time. And thank God we did.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's 2 parts to this question. And every agency does have a list of things that they're good at and things that they do. I would argue that there are, again, 2 parts to this. Each agency is known for something. And then also there are some core strengths that bubble up to the top. So what would you say WorkInProgress is best known for? And what do you believe your top 3 core strengths are, looking at it through the lens of providing solutions?
Yeah, I think, the work you just showed, but inevitably we are most well known for being a small indie agency in Boulder that won a very large AOR at the end of 2020 called Domino's. And then I think since then we've continued that reputation by adding a couple additional AORs, with Boost Mobile and Sling. I think before that, we were probably most well known for Cliffside Shop, if you remember that, Doug.
I do.
As far as like being a clear articulation of our action-based approach for a very small client, and then how we've continued to bring that to other big AORs. So I think that's what we're most known for. We're very proud of that. When you ask about 3 core strengths, I think I'll hit on one, and then Evan will hit on a couple others. But one is intentionality. I would say, like, we as a group are very intentional with our decision making and on our positioning and our planning. I think even since the very first day in 2016 and before we started, we had a vision for what the agency would be and what kind of work we'd do and what size we'd be, what we would say yes to and no to. And 8 years later, it was very much that vision, and I'm proud of that. And I think it's paid off in a lot of other ways with the way we operate and how we communicate to employees and how we structure ourselves. And and so that intentionality is, I think, one of our core strengths, how thoughtful we are and how much we're consistent there.
Yeah. Evan.
Yeah, I mean, that has guided everything we've done still to this day. It's amazing. And that is the benefit of being independent, because we just answer to ourselves and there's no other pressure. So the pressure is, are we building the agency that we set out to build, which is a lot of pressure. The other thing that we talk about, and I alluded to this about how we came together, is that we really like to immerse ourselves into our clients' business and understand their business, the way they speak, the things that matter to them. We do that by studying the earnings reports every quarter, understanding what are their economic pressures, what are their barriers, what are the things that they're trying to achieve, right? And so then that shows them that we're a true partner and that we're thinking beyond just the advertising, because that's what they have to think beyond too, right? Advertising is just a part of what they do. Right. And so we want to be that true partner. So, and then through that comes the ability to understand what we have to address to achieve the goals. And so that's where we get to our action-based approach, where we ideate a pipeline of actions that we can execute in the near term, medium term, and long term. So there's a pipeline, right, across 12, 18, 24 months that we're working against, which just gives us a clear plan. Instead of being reactionary, we have a plan that we're just full steam ahead that separates us continuously from who our competitors are in the category, and allows them to manage expectations internally, manage the leadership team, and say, no, this is the barrier that we have to achieving this business goal, and here's the thing that we're doing to address that. And so we just come at it from a much different angle, which then gives us this valuable seat at the table, and we're involved in much deeper conversations beyond an ad.
Yeah. So Matt, you had brought up Cliffside Shop. Let's take a look at it real quick.
Hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? Welcome to the Cliffside Shop. Looks like I could get you another layer. Enjoy the rest of the climb.
I remember that when what year was that again?
Oh, man.
That was
2017 or something?
In 2017, August-ish of 2017.
Yeah, I think I was at the Drum. Yeah, I remember that.
So
yeah,
fun. So
very on brand for where I live. Evan, you touched on a little bit about the importance of being indie. Why is being indie so important to this team?
We're able to do the things that we want to do, like Matt talked about intentionality. For us, we know that the team that's working on a piece of business is so important to the client partner relationship. We want that team to stay at the agency for forever, really. And so it's about creating a culture that but allows people to feel valued and empowered, and then feel like themselves so they can do their best work. And so when we're in control as an indie, we can make those decisions that create that culture. And we can make those decisions about the work we take on, which also creates the culture, because people have to be excited about the brief that we have coming in from a new business opportunity, or excited about the category that we're taking on. Like Matt mentioned, we just recently took on Boost Mobile, and that's an incredibly commoditized category. So those briefs are super exciting. So it's like the ability to say yes and no is what defines the agency from the external, and then the ability to invest in certain ways is what defines the internal, the culture of the agency. Those two things together is what I think gives us the greatest satisfaction, because everybody's pumped every day in this building.
Right.
That's
right.
what matters.
That's cool. Moving on to what brands should know about working with you. Very simple question. Not necessarily a simple answer, or it might be. What's the main reason a brand should work with WorkInProgress? Matt, why don't you take that one?
Yeah, I think it's if you have a love or appreciation of an action-based approach, right? If you're a company that wants to do that, or already looks at their own business that way, what actions are we taking to become better all the time and to create a better experience for our consumers? I think, you should want a indie agency that is entrepreneurial, that is owned by the people in the building, and all the benefits that comes with, the transparency, the direct connection to everybody on the team. You know who's working on your business, that we're involved, which I think is incredibly powerful, because we are in a people business. We're not a technology platform. So who you work with matters. The team you have matters. We all know that when we tackle this job every day. And then if you want someone that's truly a partner, that, because our model is built to be not freelance based, AORs, like we are super deep all the time. I mean, you can get to ideas faster. You can bring things to clients that they don't have to shrug off because it misses the point. Like, we are fully in all the time. And so we know what is feasible, what's not, what we think would tackle a business problem, what won't. Allows us to be more proactive as a result of that, and be always on. And so I think those are all reasons that, working with WorkInProgress makes a difference, has a positive impact.
Yeah.
So I wanted just two things I want to build upon, because I think what Matt's saying is super important, is that the leadership team of the agency, the founders of the agency, are immersed in the business. So when we go and pitch a piece of business, there's at least two partners in that pitch meeting, and those two partners continue to work on that piece of business. And so we're involved, to what Matt's saying, so that we can make sure that everything is is going smoothly, right? Everything is it's the right type of partnership. We're getting the right information. We're providing the right ideas, the right work, etc. So that's one part of it that's super important to us, which has kept us controlled in how big we can become.
Right.
And the other thing is the culture that we've created has led to, like, our retention rate, I think, is 95%, which is incredibly high for an industry where you see a lot of people moving around. And that's something that we've worked really hard at, because that's what ultimately you're buying when you decide to partner with an agency, is you're buying a team of people, and you don't want those team of people to be transient. So we know that, and we've invested massively to make sure that we're keeping these teams together, because then that's where the magic really starts to happen, is you start to build a lot of momentum, a lot of institutional knowledge. And so these ideas just become easier to present and buy.
Right. Yep. It's a good professional segue into why talent should be putting the agency on their list. What are some? You touched on a couple big ones. What are some others? I mean, bold.
Yeah, bold is one for sure. I mean, we're 2 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday. Everyone here, we don't. So I think what's been nice is that's not for everyone, but people self-select into that. Like, I'm craving that. I want to be around other people. I like that part of the job. I think part of an independent agency where you have direct connection to people that are making decisions about the whole agency. And one thing that led me here and wanting to leave, even if I was high up, I couldn't promise a raise to people that I was managing. I couldn't promise certain things about their future, and because I wasn't the ultimate decision maker. And so now it's very direct about, okay, I care about your well-being. I care about you and your future here. We want to stay small. We're going to be intentional with how we work with you and your future. We're not going to add too many people. We're not going to try to take opportunities away from you through freelance. And then the style of work, right? Like, not everybody, again, sparks to our style of work, the action-based approach, and caring about the business results. And so, as silly as that sounds, we're not in the business of self-serving work, or like get in and get out and do something that just did something for us and did nothing for the client, or something just for your book that didn't actually drive results, or something just to win awards versus win awards as the icing on the cake. And so we found a lot of people over the years that resonates with, and felt like it kind of is a cure for a lot of the ills they've seen in other agencies, or maybe oftentimes larger agencies. And so I think those are all reasons that people should put us on the list, among other cultural initiatives and things like that.
So I am an INFP-A, which is an assertive introvert. So 2 days a week sounds like an introvert's dream.
Exactly.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
It's been pretty.
That's a really good balance.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing, because I think there's some skepticism about how efficient can it be and how effective, but in really stepping back and studying it, the cadence that's been developed is fascinating, because you have Monday, then you're in the office Tuesday. So Monday becomes this prep day for in the office Tuesday. You have all of these very productive meetings in person that lays the foundation for the stuff that needs to be done Wednesday. You're not in the office Wednesday, highly productive, then back in Thursday. So like, it's been pretty fascinating to watch the cadence that's developed from it, but also it's a testament to the people that we have in the building, because that means that they're all very responsible, they're entrepreneurial, they're self-starters. Like, they're also contributing and making it a success, because when they're not in the office, they're still doing their work, right? So it's a two-sided thing that's happening.
Yep, I like that. Go to the last question, which is a bit of a thought experiment. It's one of my favorite parts of this, though. Whether they are a client or not, which CMO or marketer do you want to say hello to?
Well, this is typical us. I think we want to thank everybody who actually has joined us on this journey, because without all the different marketers and brands who gave us a chance when we were just, a handful of people and had no clients, to today is pretty amazing. And then we would be, without the support of Domino's and Kate Trumbull, who's the chief brand officer, who is so invested in the action-based approach with her team and with us. It's amazing the work we've been making. And then Matt touched on this in the beginning, but we've developed and created a really strong relationship with 2 brands within Dish Network, Sling, which is run by Kurt Simon and Lanita Eisler. And then that has led to Boost Mobile, which is with Katie Flynn and Dave Robinson. And all these people are tremendous partners to the agency and to our approach. And, they're allowing us to make great work, and that work is delivering the results that they're seeking. And so it's exciting. It's really, it's a great thing to be feeling right now for everybody.
Yeah. I like the new Domino stuff with Simon Cowell. That's funny.
No, I have a question for you. Like, you've been at this for a long time, and I love what you're doing right now to celebrate indie agencies. But what are you seeing? Like, what do you see with indie agencies? And what do you think the future is for the indies? Like, where is this train headed?
As long as everybody keeps playing offense, marketers and CMOs are going to understand that this is something different. I am of the school that you don't necessarily call it. I don't think we should call it project-based anymore. I mean, everybody strives to get retainer work. Everybody strives to get AOR. There's this middle ground of being a roster agency. I've toyed around with this idea of key creative partner or key marketing partner, because it's in that middle ground. So if you start with one project and then you build it out to 3 to 5 to 6, yeah, you're still technically doing project-based, and the label really doesn't matter. But by playing offense and really saying, yeah, we're a key partner here, and frame it and phrase it however you want. But the key is just continually playing offense. And honestly, what I'm trying to do with this is the community or independent agencies. But my goal is to talk to more and more marketers and CMOs. And I have spoken to quite a few of them who have said, oh, I had no idea any of these agencies existed. This is awesome. So this is great. So visibility really matters. And to be visible, you have to play offense. To be influential, it takes 3 pieces. Number 1, you just got to show up. Number 2, you have to build your authority and your credibility, and then you're able to be influential. But you can raise your visibility across that spectrum. But it simply comes down to play offense. And I always talk about confidence. You know what? You belong in those rooms. You belong in those pitches. You were at a holdco agency for years, and you know what you're doing. Absolutely, you should be 100% confident of being in that room, and that you are going to provide the solution for a client, for a brand. So that's how I see it. I think it's just play offense. Not like the Broncos, but play offense.
Right.
Although Bo Nix, Oregon guy, I think you're going to.
Oh yeah, everybody's on the bandwagon here right now. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, Matt, do you have a CMO you want to say hi to, or Evan go through? Give me a fun one. Oh, come on, give me somebody you don't work with.
I know. It's not my.
It's not my. It's fine. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to push.
I don't want to double down on being boring, but it's just like I am so invested.
Speaking of the Broncos, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so invested in who we work with every day.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
It's my whole world, and I get obsessed with it, and it's probably to a fault, but I want people that love the work we're doing and see it, want them to know it's us doing it. Sometimes that's not the case. That's not the visibility, but I want to make amazing
I won't
work.
press. That's fine.
Yeah.
I got it. I'll back up. I'll back the fuck up a little bit. That's fine.
Did you notice what a confident answer that was, though?
That was very confident.
Your comment about confidence is so spot on. It really is, and it's something that has been amazing over 8 years to get to this point where we have that, when you start to feel that as a group of people in a building, that energy and that power, it's strong.
Yep. Well, let's end on like we do on the driving range. You hit a driver straight and long. Let's just walk away from it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate again your support of Indie Agency News, and nothing but continued success moving forward.
Thank you so much.